So, have you ever wondered what Martin Garrix or Kygo have that we don't to be so professional and make it into the industry? Do they have some kind of special superpower that protects them from procrastination and laziness? Well, I was wondering too, and over the last couple years, through trial and error, experience, and talking with more professional producers, I was able to pinpoint a few different situations where I think the difference happened. So today, I want to share with you the amateur, lazy attitude that you and I might have had before, and the more professional attitude that I have today, which allows me to produce more songs, make better music, and progress every single day towards my goal of being a great EDM producer. So if that sounds like something you want as well, make sure to stay until the end of the video and let's get into it. First of all, I wanted to apologize for how I sound. I'm quite still sick, as you can see, but I really wanted to get a video out for you guys this week, so hopefully it doesn't bother you too much and you can still enjoy the video. So the first lazy versus pro producer scenario I want to talk about is the one where you overwrite your project and lose all your progress. Kind of has a nice rhyme to it. Let me explain, this is actually a true story. Earlier this year, I was working on a song which is released now, and all the instrumental was done, finished, approved, and we were just waiting for me to do the vocals for the song. Once I did send the vocals to the other producer to mix them, he told me that in the meantime he had worked more on the instrumental to improve it. Until then, no problem, you'll tell me. But the problem was that we actually didn't like the new version. We wanted the old approved version. And as you can guess where it's going, the producer had overwrite everything and we had lost our old version. It then took me 2 months to reverse engineer everything and recover the version that we had before, like to the best that I could do. Moral of the story, never ever ever overwrite your projects. These days we have so many options for storage, you can easily just use the save as button and increment save. I personally have always between like 10 to 25 different versions of my projects, just because if I want to go back to an older version or grab some elements from an older version, I can. So be a professional producer and always increment save to not lose anything. Now the second scenario I want to talk about is the one where you leave all the mixing for the end. I personally used to do it myself and I quickly realized that it wasn't working at all. If you leave all the mixing for the end, it can become very messy very quickly, and it's also very complicated to make sure that every element in your song is mixed the way you want it to. It is way easier to mix as you go, and also a pro producer uses mixing as a creative tool to find some interesting sounds. Let's take Rios for example. He often mixes his leads before doing the melody, and I think it's a great way to look at it because this way he instantly hears what it'll sound like, and often it inspires him the whole vibe for the drop. Also, if you are collaborating with another producer, it's often best to send them a clean version of your demo so that they can really grasp the sound and the vibe that you're going for. So mix as you go and also use mixing as a creative tool and not just a way to have a clean track. Next up, we have the scenario where a lazy producer creates a 8 to 16 bar loops and calls it a day, start vibing to it, message all his producer friends, but never finishes it because the creative flow has passed. Whereas a pro producer knows that you need way more to call this an idea. A pro producer creates at least half of a song or a build up and a drop to call it an idea so that they have enough elements to play with the next time they're working on it. It's one that I still struggle myself because it is very easy to get overexcited once you find a good idea or a good riff, but trust me, it is way easier to finish a song once you have enough element to play with. So please avoid the 8 to 16 bar loop trap. If you need help with it and need a bit more guidance, you can check out my ebook 1 Year to Master Music Production, where I have laid out a 12-month plan for you. In month 2 we finish 1 song in a month, in month 8 we finish 3 songs in 1 month, and you have every step made for you, like with deadlines and everything. You know exactly what to do. But there is way more than that, like which tutorials to watch, an ultimate labels list, a guide to start on social media as a producer, so I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check it out. The fourth scenario could sound counterintuitive at first, but the lazy producer don't take time to optimize their DAW and end up by taking the longer road. They don't use templates, they don't use shortcuts, they don't save their presets or instruments, and yes, taking the time to create a template or saving your mixing chain will take you some time at first, but on the long run, believe me, it will save you a ton of time. When I watch Rios, yeah, I keep taking him as an example, but he's a great producer. He always uses shortcuts and always uses his mixing chains as like pre-mixing, and it saves him a ton of time, and he's super efficient in his production sessions. On another note, it allows him to stay consistent with his sound signature throughout his songs, which is another point that will take you from a lazy beginner level to a pro producer level. Next up, we have the scenario where a lazy producer don't organize their sample or projects folder, which once again here ends up losing you more time than you think by always searching for the same snare or the perfect kick. Instead, find an organization that works for you. I personally sort mine by artist name or music genre. I also have a folder called favorites, which I put all the samples that I end up using on almost all my songs so that I don't have to go find them deep in folders every single time. Another option for you could be to use a sample manager like ADSR Sample Manager, where you can just use tags or keywords to search through all the samples that are in your machine. It's free, by the way, so I'll leave a link in the description if you want to grab it. It's not sponsored at all, just one that I love and use myself. Finally, and I think the most important here, is the scenario where a lazy producer rushes to finish a song, not really caring about the message and the meaning of the song. And when you're starting out, it's not that bad because you need the practice, but if you want to reach more people with your music, you really need to start focusing on the message and the meaning behind the song. The message you want to share with your audience and your listeners, and the feeling that you want them to feel. Music is a way of sharing emotions, sharing your story, and doing this will allow you to have many more ways to promote your song and make people care more about your music. So next time you are starting a song, don't be so lazy and rush the process. Really think about why you want to make this song and what you want to share with your audience. Now, if you need help to produce more songs, you can watch this video next, where I show you all my tips and techniques to produce 10 times more music. But in the meantime, keep running, and I'll see you in the next one.